Madison Davis will serve for the Bucks. Ricky Ale pass ahead to Sydney Morrison. Back row attack. Demi Moore to Madison Davis. Bishop back to Maiden, and that'll be a kill for Maiden as she hits the back left corner. 9-6. Buckeyes with a 3-point lead. Madison Davis to serve. Trista Lackey passes to Morrison. Blocked by Abby Talbert. Olivia Wallace. I couldn't tell who had the block. Excellent defensive play by the Lady Bucks. Madison Davis to serve. Ricky Yale passes ahead to Morrison. Attack for Tia Savage as she hits line. 10-7, Cats down 3. Brandy Lanning back to the front row. Ricky Ale back to the bench. Ricky did a nice job with 2 digs. Trista Lackey to serve, and that will be just out by Lackey. 11-7. Maiden to serve. Jump serve. Trista Lackey, nice pass ahead. Morrison, attacked by Savage, just wide. 12-7, Cats down 5. Getting to a point here where pretty critical to get a timeout. Coach Lackey does. Set number 1, the Cats down 5, 12-7. Maiden to serve for the Bucks. Very near to a foot fault. And I don't know that if it was called by the line judge, but John Kay clearly saw the fault. The second one of the contest. Tori Null replaces Danielle Dolan. She'll go to the service line. Cats down 4. Maiden to Bishop. Back on the attack by Braves. What a dig out there by Tori Null. Back row attack by Moore is just wide. That's a superb dig there by Tori Null. It doesn't come any harder hit at you than from Caitlin Breeze. Abby Talbot with a jump serve. And there'll be an overlap there against the Buckeyes. That point will be awarded to the Cats. Jill Williams in the lineup where she replaces Tia Savage. Service. Maiden back to Bishop and hit hard and down. Nice effort there by the Lady Cats. Demi Moore with the dig. Alyssa Hook. Bishop back on the attack. Nice job by the Lady Cats to dig it out. Talbert back over to Morrison. Tori Null sets up Morrison. Talbert back to Bishop. Wallace. And that is going to be hit. That's going to be out, and it was not touched. That was not touched by the Cats before hit it out. That's a very unfortunate call right in front of. Line judge has got line and the number 2 official. That could be a huge, huge play for the Cats. Brandy Lanning back to serve, 14-10, Cats down 4. Alyssa Hook passes up to Bishop. Back row attack to Maiden, and that's going to be in the net, 14-11. Cats down 3. Lanning once again, Talbert up to Bishop. And on the attack is Breeze, and that's going to be 4 hits against the Buckeyes. That didn't go over the net, 14-12, Cats down 2. Alyssa Hook to Bishop. Wallace on the attack. Off the block of Jill Williams and Sydney Morrison. Tori Null sets up Williams. She pushes it deep. And that's going to be a net violation against the Buckeyes. 14-13, Cats within 1. Coach Ben Roby has seen enough. Cats have climbed back within 1 point after being down 4. Lanning to serve. Abby Talbert. Bishop with a back set. Trista Lackey and Tori Null on the attack. Nice job to hit it where they weren't. Nice court vision by the freshman Trista Lackey. Excellent, excellent kill there for Trista Lackey. Brandy Lanning on the serve. Abby Talbert to Bishop. Back to Breeze, cross court, and she finds the wide open right back corner. 15-14. Cats down 1. Ricky Ale in the lineup replacing Brandy Lanning. She's going to face a hard downhill jump serve from Breeze. Nice job by Sydney Morrison. Trista Lackey cross court. Maiden over to Bishop. Null back to Morrison, and she pushes across. Null once again to Williams, and Jill Williams finds the open spot in the zone. Jill Williams coming off a Federal Hawking game when her hitting percentage was phenomenal, among some of the highest I've seen in quite a while. And she found the open spot on the court. Kelsey Brown in the lineup. She replaces Tori Null. That'll send Sydney Morrison to serve. 15-15. Maiden, Bishop back to Maiden, as Breeze. Talbert to Bishop, back to Maiden. And that'll be lead for the contest. The first lead of the night, the Cats 16. The Bucks 15. What an exciting contest here in the first set. Sydney Morrison to Lissa Hook. Breeze back row attack by Hook, and that's a little miscommunication in the back row. Demi Moore, Ricky Ale. Got to call your seams. That'll tie the contest up. 16-16. Megan Bishop back to the service line. Jump serve. Trista Lackey to Sydney Morrison. Jill Williams sends it across. Bishop back to Maiden, and that'll be 4 hits against the Buckeyes. 17-16. 1 point lead for the Lady Cats. Jill Williams to serve. Alyssa Hook to Bishop. Back to Maiden, and that is going to be just in. Called out by the line judge, called in by the #1 referee. Overruled once again. Demi Moore in the lineup replacing Jill Williams. Trista Lackey, nice pass to Sydney Morrison. Can't dig it out of the net. The Bucks tie the score, 17. No, take that back. Make that 1 point lead for the Lady Bucks as Madison Davis serves. Ricky Ale, nice pass to Sydney Morrison. Perfect placement. Tia Savage, and that's going to be a point for the Cats as Tia Savage hammers it off the block of Abby Talbert. Madison Davis replaced in the lineup. Trista Lackey on the serve. Maiden, Bishop back to Talbert as she pushes it over. 19-18, Buckeyes with a 1 point lead. Caitlin Maiden back to serve. Sydney Morrison to Brandy Lanning off the block of Talbert. Back to Breeze, and there was, net moved a lot, but I don't know which side it came from. 2 point lead, 20-18. Bucks with the serve. Maiden on the jump serve, and that's going to be a lineup error against the Cats. Maiden, 3 point lead, jump serve. Nice dig by Lackey to Morrison, back row attack by Demi Moore into the net. 22-18, 4 point lead for the Bucks. It's time for a timeout. And Coach Shelly Lackey takes her second and final timeout. Maiden to serve with a 4 point lead. Lackey, and that's going to be an ace for Maiden. 23-18. Buckeyes with a 5 point lead here in the first set. And what a competitive first set it has been. Nice job by Kelsey Brown to dig it out. 24-18 set point. And that'll be an ace for Maiden. The Buckeyes opened up with a small lead in the first set. Cats find themselves down 3 or 4 points throughout the set, come back and take a 1 to 2 point lead, only to fall 25-18 in set number 1. But what a competitive set it was. Set number 2, the Buckeyes win the first, 25-18. Maiden to serve. Maiden, Hook, Bishop, Wallace, Breeze, Talbert. Starting for the Buckeyes, Savage, Brown, Morrison, Lanning, Moore, and Tristalaki. Starting for the Cats. Morrison passes to Lackey as she hits cross to Talbert. Up ahead to Bishop. And Breeze will hit it across. Nice dig there by Sydney Morrison. Abby Talbert sets up Breeze once again, and the block is down for the kill for Breeze. Maiden to serve once again, Demi Moore, and that'll be an ace for Maiden. Another ace for Maiden once again. Buckeyes 3, Cats 0. And that's just a little bit long. Tristalaki to serve. Hook, Bishop. Wallace sends it over. Tia Savage off the block of Wallace. Hook sends it deep. Savage once again. Breeze, the Bishop back set. And that's going to be off the block by Talbert. And for the kill. Buckeyes 4, Tomcats 1. Talbert to serve. Ace for Talbert. 3 aces in the second set. 5-1 lead for the Bucks. Talbert with a jump serve. And that's another ace for Talbert. That's 2 in a row. And Coach Lackey has seen enough, calls timeout. Buckeyes with a 6-1 lead. Talbert to serve. And that'll be a net serve. Tori Null into the lineup replacing Kelsey Brown, where she'll serve. Talbert to a Bishop. Back row attack by Hook. Nice pass up ahead to the Lady Cats, and that'll be a kill for Brandy Lanning. That's a hook to Breeze. Nice job by Tori Nall to save it. Lessa Hook to head to Bishop. Breeze on the attack, and that is long. And into the net. Net call against the Cats. Don't know who that was against. Olivia Wallace to serve. Nice pass by Morrison. Null back to Morrison on the left-handed attack. Bishop to Breeze, and nice block there by Tia Savage. It happened so quick that when it was sent back by Breeze, it went under net. Almost a no call there. 7-4. Nice attack there by Tia Savage, Demi Moore on the serve. Talbert to Bishop. And there'll be a net violation once again against the Cats. 8-4. Caitlin Breeze to serve for the Bucks. Jump serve. Ace for Breeze. The Bucks have 9 points on 5 aces here in the second set. Jump serve once again by Breeze. Trista Lackey, Tori Nall back to Jill Williams. Sends it across. Alyssa Hook digs it out to Bishop. Breeze on the back row attack, and that is long. 9-5. Cats down 4. Brandy Lanning will go back to serve. Alyssa Hook passes it up to Bishop, to Davis, and that will be wide. 9-6. Cats within 3. Lanning to Hook, Hook to Bishop. Maiden with the cross court hit and miscommunication once again by the Cats. Brandy Lanning replaced in the lineup by Ricky Ale. She'll go to the back row. Megan Bishop to serve. Ricky Ale, and that'll be another ace for the Buckeyes. Their 6th of the second set as they lead by 5, 11-6. Sydney Morrison on the attack, and that's pushed over by the junior, Sydney Morrison, excuse me. Sydney Morrison as she gets the kill. Tori Nall in the replace in the lineup. Sydney Morrison with the ace. You know, that's an incredible call. Michael Everett calls it in. They call reserve earlier in the first match. And hit long once again. Unfortunate set of events there. I tell you, you know, Coach Lackey is beside herself. Alyssa Hook to serve, 12-7 with a 5-point lead. Trista Lackey gets a hand on it to Demi Moore, back row attack. Alyssa Hook up to Bishop, and the attack by Breeze is good. 13-7, Cats down 6. Hook to serve. Trista Lackey passes ahead to Morrison, to Williams, cross court, Hook, nice dig to Bishop. Breeze back row attack. Demi Moore passes ahead to Morrison. Danny Dolan can't push it across the net. (14-7). Cats down 7 in set 2. Alyssa Hook to serve. And that'll be another ace for the Buckeyes, the 8th of the second set. Hook to serve once again. Ricky Ale shoots it back to the deep to Alyssa Hook. Megan Bishop. Sydney Morrison digs it out. Ricky Ale pushes it across. Maiden to Bishop to Wallace, and that's going to be long. Tia Savage into the lineup, replacing Demi Moore. She'll take a quick break and go back in the back. And there will be a ball on the court. Don't know where that came from, but Jill Williams to serve once again. Nice serve, Williams. Breeze to Bishop, and that's going to be, nice dig there by Williams. Bishop once again, as she went over the line. Much needed break for the Cats. That point for the Cats and Jill Williams, 15-9. Cats down 6. That's a hook up ahead to Bishop, to Wallace, and that's going to be behind the antenna. That was a pretty easy call to make. A nice job by Chris Sikorsky to make that call as the Buckeyes are now up 5, 15-10, and here in set number 2. Jill Williams at the service line for the Lady Cats. Breeze to Bishop and to Talbert on the cross court. Nice dig there by Ricky Ale. Trista Lackey on the push across. Maiden with the attack. Nicely dug out by Williams. But into the net. Tough play there for the front line. At that point, 6-point lead, 16-10. Maiden to serve. And that'll be a net serve, 16-11. Let's hope this is a break the Cats need. Trista Lackey will go back to the service line. Brandy Lanning replaces Ricky Ale in the front court. Trista Lackey to Maiden, Megan Bishop, and that's going to be a tough play. Nice effort there by Breeze. 16-12, as close as the Cats have been for some time. Lackey, Talbert, that was a tough play to make. Abby Talbert squirreled off her hands, and it was really nice to see her. She went right over to Meg and said, "I'm sorry, you know." Maiden to Bishop, and that's going to be 4 hits. 16-14, Cats within 2. What a first 2 sets of this contest, back and forth. Buckeyes went out up to by a minute of 6. I want to see the Cats come within 2. Lackey, Talbert, Bishop. That's going to be a tough play. Maiden pushes it across. Savage back to Savage, and that's going to be just long. Nice idea by Savage. That right corner was open. Abby Talbot replaced by Bree Witham, and she'll serve. A nice effort by Lackey, Lanning, Moore, and of course Coach Lackey there. She was ready to hit it too, but Bree Witham to serve. 4-point lead, 18-14. Demi Moore, Sydney Morrison. Just all she can do is just push it across. Bishop back to Breeze. Nice block there by Dolan and Savage. 5-point lead for the Buckeyes, 19-14. Bree Witham with the serve. Technically not an ace, but realistically it was. The 10th of the contest. Bree Witham to serve. 6-point lead, 20-14. Trista Lackey to Sydney Morrison. She sets up Brandy Lanning with the kill. Cross-court attack dug out by Maiden. Hook to Breeze, blocked by the front line of the Cats. Danielle Dolan and Tia Savage. Lanning once again on the attack, and that's going to be long. Cats find themselves down 7. 16-14 lead moments ago has quickly climbed back to 7 points. Bree Witham. Danielle Dolan passes ahead to Morrison. Tia Savage to Hook. Hook to Bishop. Breeze on the attack. Blocked there by the Cats. Dolan and Savage. Nice job sending it over Savage. Bishop once again to Wallace. Dug out by Lackey. Daniel Dolan on attack. Cross-court hit to Bree with them. Megan Bishop sets up a back row attack to Lissa Hook. And that's going to be a kill for Lissa Hook. 22-14. Lady Cats down 8. Josie Seal in the lineup where she'll replace Whitney Maiden. The coach Shelly Lackey uses her second and final timeout. Finds himself down 22-14. Bree Witham has entered the Buckeye lineup to run off 6 points. And that is long. Nice run for the Bucks and Bree Witham as they were up 16-14, and when she entered, and that lead was pushed to 22-14. Cats now down 7. Tori Null to serve. Alyssa Hook to Megan Bishop to Breeze, and blocked down by Tia Savage. (22-16). Tori Null serves. Bree Witham to Olivia Wallace. Alyssa Hook sends it deep to Demi Moore. Pass to Tori Null. Left-handed hitter Sydney Morrison on the kill. 22-17. 5-point lead. Tori Null serves. Bree Witham to Megan Bishop up to Breeze. And that is off the block of Savage and Morrison. Brandy Lanning with the hit. And that's going to be a net violation against the Lady Bucks. Cats within 4. If you're watching this on TV, it's quite a contest tonight. And if you paid to get in, you've got your money's worth so far. As the Buckeyes come in at 3-0, Tomcats 1-0. Two very talented squads. Tori Null to serve. Bree Witham to Megan Bishop. Wallace on the attack is into the net. And 22-19, Cats within 3. Not sure how much longer, but Coach Ben Roby has one timeout left, and sure enough, he does use it as the Cats have called within 3. Tori Null serve, 3-point lead. Megan Bishop to Breeze, blocked by Morrison and Savage. It's going to be a tough play. Demi Moore get it back across by Tori Null. Nice job by the Cats. Alyssa Hook resets to Wallace, and that is going to be down by Wallace. Wallace with the kill, 23-19. The Bucks up 4. Alyssa Hook back to the service line. Huge point here for the Lady Cats. Trista Lackey to Tori Null. Demi Moore on the back row attack. Nice job by Moore. Megan Bishop sets up Davis, and that's a hard hit. And that's an excellent effort there by Trista Lackey. 24-19 set point as Coach Lackey gives Trista a high five on the effort. Love to see the effort there. She slid about 10 feet into the wall. Alyssa Hook on game point. Jump serve to the Cats. Hard hit ball downhill. Trista Lackey to Brandy Lanning, and that's going to be out. Morrison, not sure who that was. Cats, very similar score to the first set. They lost this first set 25-18, second set 25-19. Have now got to win the next 3 if they want to pull this match out. Cats will serve in set number 3. And 2 very hard-fought battles here in the set number 1, set number 2. The Lady Cats came into the year, they've replaced 6 graduating seniors. And that's not an easy task to do, but they have a lot of people back with experience, as does Nelsonville-York. They both have a lot of volleyball experience on both sides of the court. Trista Lackey to serve. Breeze up to Bishop. Wallace sends it across, and that'll be to Brandy Lanning. Sydney Morrison sets up Kelsey Brown, cross-court hit. Bishop digs it out. Abby Talbert, Trista Lackey back to Morrison. On the attack is Brandy Lanning. Cross-court to Maiden. Bishop back to Maiden. And that will be into the net. The Cats take a 1-point lead here in set number 3. Trista Lackey to serve. That's a hook up to Bishop. Maiden sends it across. Nice dig by Lackey. Sydney Morrison sets up Tia Savage. Bree Bishop back to Talbot, cross court, and that's blocked down by Brandy Lanning and Tia Savage, but I believe the Lanning got a finger on that and pushed it back down. 2-0. Cats with the lead. Trista Lackey to serve. Maiden to Bishop. And that's going to be a tough play, and that's going to be hit down. No, excellent effort by Abby Talbot and Alyssa Hook. The Cats get the point, but what an effort on the Buckeye side of the net. Trista Lackey serves up the first 3 points in set number 3. A must-win set for the Cats. Maiden to Hook. It's going to be a tough play once again, and that's going to be pushed down by Savage. Nice net play here in the front line. Brown, Savage, Lanning. Excellent teamwork. Cats up 4-0. Trista Lackey to serve. Breeze to Bishop. Back to Wallace, and she's going to send it across court. Dug out there by Lanning. Lanning to Morrison. And that's going to be nice job there by Bishop. Sent across with a left hand by Brown, and she is right-handed. Nice block by Savage once again into net. Abby Talbot cross court. No, it's tried to hit line and it is out. Cats with a 5-point lead. Lots of energy here. Could have easily given up down 2 sets. Trista Lackey to serve. Maiden to Talbot. She shoots it across. Nice job by Morrison to pull that out. And that is going to be to Wallace. Breeze back court attack. Lanning tries to hit line. Alyssa Hook, backcourt attack by Breeze. Nice job there by Moore to dig it out, but that's under the net. Point to the Buckeyes. There, the Cats up 5-1. Biggest lead of the night for the Cats. That'll send Maiden to serve. And that'll be in the net. 6-1. Cats with a 5-point lead. Find themselves down by 5 points, 6-1. Coach Ben Roby calls timeout. Tori Null at the service line. Maiden to Bishop. Nice job to be there by the Cats. Tia Savage with a heads-up play. Tia Savage to Tori Null, back to Morrison, and she dinks it across, picked up by Maiden. Maiden with a backcourt attack, and that's going to be out. 7-1, Cats with a 6-point lead. What a volley by the Cats and the Buckeyes. Tori Null to serve. Abby Talbot pushes ahead to Bishop. Tough play. Talbot cross court. Nicely dug out there by Null to Morrison, and back to Lanning, and she finds an empty back right corner. 8-1. Cats with a 7-point lead. Tori Null with the serve. Abby Talbot to Bishop. Alyssa Hook sends it deep. Trista Lackey in the net, and almost crawled over for Null. That's about all she could do with it. That's an excellent effort by Tori Null. Cats 8, Buckeyes 2. Coach Roby with the new job there. And I thought it looked like Bishop slipped a little bit earlier. Luckily she didn't hurt her ankle or such, but let's just hope the Cats can break serve here. This the last set that gave up about 9 aces. And break serve here. And go back on the offense. Abby Talbot. Nice pass by Demi Moore to Tia Savage, and a block down by Breeze and Wallace. 8-3. Cats with a 5-point lead. And that's an ace once again by Talbot. Nice pass there by Moore. Apparently some kind of an overlap once again. 8-4. Make that 4-point lead for the Cats. And net serve. (9-5) now for the Cat lead. Up by 4. Demi Moore to serve. Jill Williams back in the front row. Well, she replaces Tia Savage. Just barely across Breeze. And that's going to be hammered down by Breeze. Assist Bishop. Kill for Breeze. 9-6. Cats up 3. And net serve once again by the Bucks. Madison Davis in the front line. She replaces Wallace. Brandy Landing to serve. Abby Talbot passes ahead to Bishop, and that'll be to Breeze, and she'll hit across court, and that's going to be down for the kill. 10-7. Cats with a 3-point lead. Brandy Landing will be replaced in the back row by Ricky Ale. Caitlin Breeze to serve. Nice dig by Ricky Ale. Madison Davis finds an open spot, but someone was in the net. 10-8. Ace once again by Breeze. 10-9. Cats with a 1-point lead as Coach Shelley Lackey decides to use her first timeout. Coming out of the timeout, Caitlin Breeze will serve, having scored the last 3 points for the Buckeyes. Ricky Ale, Demi Moore, sent across by Tori Nall. Abby Talbot pushes ahead to Bishop, and on the attack by Caitlin Maiden, give her the kill, and that ties the score up 10-10. Cats were up by 6 points. Now find it all tied. Demi Moore to Tori Null. Trista Lackey on the cross court. Caitlin Maiden back to Bishop, back to Maiden. And she'll go for kill number 2. Dug out by Lackey. And that's going to be called on a lift on Sydney Morrison. Much to the chagrin of Coach Lackey. 11-10, Bucks with a 1-point lead. Nice pass by Ricky Ale to Jill Williams. Blocked down. Oh, what an excellent effort there by Sydney Morrison, Tori Null, Trista Lackey, Jill Williams. (12-10), Breeze to serve. Tori Null, nice set to Demi Moore. Back row attack, Breeze back to Bishop. Attack on Maiden, and that's going to be a kill for Maiden. 13-10. Coach Lackey going to substitute for Ricky Ale, not because Ricky's made a mistake, just try to break the service of Maiden, of Breeze, excuse me. Tori Null, Sydney Morrison. Abby Talbot pushes ahead to Bishop. Tori Null to Sydney Morrison, and nice play there by the Buckeyes. Talbot, back row attack. Tori Nall sends it to Trista Lackey. She finds the corner. Breeze is right there to cover it. Up to Bishop. Davis. Demi Moore digs it out. Tori Nall. The attack is Trista Lackey once again. Maiden back to Bishop. What a volley. And that has got to be one of the longest volleys of the year. Caitlin Maiden with the kill once again. 14-10. Cats down 4. Breeze with the serve. Demi Moore, nice pass. Just in under the net. Nall couldn't dig it out. 15-10. Cats down 5. Quite a run here by the Buckeyes. Having been down 6 points, now up 5. And that will be in the net. 6-point lead now for the Buckeyes. And Coach Lackey has seen enough. She's going to use her second and final timeout. Cats down 6, 16-10. Well, the Cats need to break this run by Breeze. Lanning passes ahead to Nall, back to Morrison. Let's hope we get a point here. Breeze passes ahead to Bishop. Pushed deep by Hook. Tori Nall sets it to Williams, and that is going to be killed by Jill Williams as she improves on that attacking percentage or that hit percentage of hers. Sydney Morrison to serve. Alyssa Hook, nice pass up to Bishop. Back row attack to Breeze. Cross court hit to Morrison, and that's going to be a point for the Buckeyes. 17-11, 6-point lead. Megan Bishop to the service line. (18-11). Cats down 7. Megan Bishop to serve. Tough play, tough overhead play there to make by Trista Lackey as give the ace to Megan Bishop. 19-11, Cats down 8. Third set, lost the first 2 by 7 points. In set number 1 by 6 points in set number 2. Tia Savage in the lineup, replacing Demi Moore. Jill Williams back to serve. Maiden, Bishop back to Maiden. Jill Williams passes to Morrison. She sets up Savage for the kill. And that's going to be 4 hits against the Lady Cats. Demi Moore replaces Jill Williams. 20-12, Cats down 8. Davis to serve. Nice pass, Demi Moore to Sydney Morrison. Sets up Tia Savage, and that's going to be just wide. 21-12. Cats running out of time. And net serve by Davis. 21-13, Cats down 8. Bree with them replaces Madison Davis, where she'll go to the back row. Trista Lackey to serve. Maiden passes to Bishop once again. Attacked by Maiden and down for the kill.